Welcome to episode 80. Woo! Of the Champ We Are United podcast, the #1 football comic-based podcast, often exploring the United verse and covering all things Roy the Rovers, and sometimes we even venture into a secret war. I am your host, Paul Tangent Richardson. I am joined in the studio by a wealth of football comic knowledge, so let me introduce them to you. First up, he said to the producer, the Kings of Leon want me, but the pod board insisted that there was not a transfer fee big enough to take him. Yes, our founding member and our leader, Gull.
I said to the producer, I said, hello, Tangent Paul. I'll hand over to Gull now. Hello.
Evening, Gull. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for that lovely intro.
You're welcome. All right. I shall move on then. So, once known as the man with no nickname, the only person who has been able to silence the 1,000 voices of Gull. Yes, let's see if I can say it right this time. It's Mute Button Matt.
Well done. Good stuff, Tangent Paul. Yes. Hello there, everybody. Hi, listeners.
First time he said that right.
Good to be here and ready for some more old school football comic fun.
Yep, I think we've got some good stuff lined up, but we'll get onto that shortly. And tonight,
we've got some good stuff lined up.
We have, but let me introduce the last member of the team tonight. So onto a man who has survived a surprising protest from Wolverhampton Wanderers, the football club who said that there was no place for Vor on the podcast, but were shouted down by the pod board. It's the voice of reason, Simmo.
Thank you. Good evening. How's everybody tonight?
Yeah, good.
Good,
excellent.
I thought he wasn't going to speak then.
Yes.
I was getting a bit nervous.
I was going for a dramatic pause, but then I realised mine weren't as good as Scooby-Doo's, so I just thought I'd leave it.
Right. Well, okay, so you will notice that we're a small team tonight using squad rotation. But before we move on, I'd like to give you an update on our other squad members. Contrary to reports of some of the Red Tops, Bygone Berrigan is not away on a Highland fling. We, however, cannot corroborate reports that he is in fact in Crete.
That's easy for you to say.
Apparently not. Is in fact in Crete trying to find out about the latest Roy and Penny spat. As for Luscious Locks Ridders, reports that he was seen in the Fountain of Justice in Frankfurt alongside Alex Hedgehog Jones singing Please Don't Take Me Home. Please Don't Take Me Home are wrong. He is making final preparations for his perfect match next weekend. We wish Ridders and the soon-to-be Mrs. Luscious Locks all the best next weekend. We look forward to the return of both Bygone and Ridders in future pods. So that's our team.
Excellent stuff. I just wanted to it's actually getting married on Thursday. Oh, 27th. Yeah, but good luck for the weekend as well. Let's hopefully you make it that long.
Exactly. Let's hope that the knot is still tied.
I don't know if you picked up the gull in the background screeching outside my window again. Did you? Well, listen back later and find out. He keeps on going.
We did. And just a word on Ridders and the soon-to-be Mrs. Ridders. Just like to say, looking forward to the day on Thursday when they finally become united.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh, very good.
Love it.
Oh, fantastic.
It took me 6 months rehearsal for that. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Well, I mean, I think they're just getting married because you to make sure that you said that. They'll get divorced now you've said it. True story.
Right. Well, there you go.
Hurry back, Ridders, because I've got some more theme tunes for you.
Nobody can wait for those goals. So, Ridders, we need a speedy return there. Right. So, what have we got lined up for you in this episode 80? Well, we will kick off with the usual Melvin's Muses, which Mute Button Matt. I really struggle with that, and we'll do that. But then Gull, I believe.
You know what? You could just call me Matt.
I could do.
Just call me Matt. You could do, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could do. Gull, I believe you've then got something for us after the musings.
Yes, I do.
Do you not to tell us, or do you just want to wait for the time?
No, I'll be looking at an edition of Gary Lineker's Hot Shots, which was one of my favourites. Only ran for about 25 editions, and I'll be looking at when Andy Steele, Playmaker, was picked for the England under-21s at 15. And also a look at the strip called Striker. I know that we had some queries on the Facebook site about a striker story that wasn't Pete Nash's striker. Talk about that later, of course.
Good stuff. Looking forward to that. And then
You're on commission tonight, Gull. You're trying to get a lot packed in there. You're getting paid per mention.
Of who?
Well, if you organised another secret contract all on your own.
Oh, I organised loads of different things in the background.
Yeah, come on, Simmo. We haven't got enough time for him to go through all of those secret contracts.
Yeah, I suppose it's all them people he's got hidden in his cupboard, isn't it? That he has to pay them all.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's a studio cupboard. Friend of the show. Well, they're all friends of the show. Carry on.
Yeah, moving swiftly on. So after that, Matt, I think you'll be taking possession of the ball then. What have you got for us?
Yes, well, I'm going to do the Scorcher annual from 1977. I used to do, actually, I did some annual reviews quite a
bit of a return.
I used to do the Rovers ones back in the day. But Scorcher is one of my favourite annuals of all time. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It'll probably be a two-parter. So I'll do part one today.
Cool.
Woo!
Well, I was going to say, potentially then, listeners, we've got a couple of bonus features, but seeing how long it's just taken us to go through the running order, I don't think there's much chance of us getting through those, but we shall see how we get on. And if we manage to squeeze them in, that'll be great. And then, of course, it'll be on to social media, and we will say our goodbyes to you, and maybe a little preview of what's coming up in episode 81. So,
with all these things, you're spoiling us.
Thank you.
Was supposed to be Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, seasonal.
I thought it was the I thought it was the ambassador, not Ferrero Rocher. But anyway, thanks for that, gents. And I think then it's over to Matt for Melvin's Musings.
Yes, thank you, Tangent Paul. So Melvin's Musings. Have we got a theme tune today, Gull?
Well, not just a theme tune, special guests. Hang on a sec. I'll just hang on. Hello, wow. Doc. Can you let him get to the door? All right, then I'll do that. Come on in. Oh, you won't believe who it is. I'm sure that they've been on before, but you won't believe who it is. And one of them's dead, and the other one's not even in the group anymore. And Brian may, but I don't know if he will. It's only bloody Queen.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Okay, this is kind of magic.
This is lovely. This isn't so much an impression, but a theme tune. Are we ready? Oh, I hope I get this right. I've been practicing this for about 15 years. Are you ready?
We go for it. Come on.
All we need is a musing from Melvin. Musing from Melvin. Musing from Melvin. Trevor, what is new? Time for Matt to read through.
Very good. Very good.
Is that
6 months to write that, listeners? You heard it here first.
You know what?
That's why he's not a musician.
Thank you very much. If only Widders had sent the bloody swear jar back, I would have done about 16 profanities then.
Welcome to Podcast Gagger.
Do you know what?
Well, I guess if it had been any good, it really would have been a breakthrough, wouldn't it?
Oh, very good.
In fact, it would have been the news of the world.
Do you know what? Is this a comic football podcast or name that tune?
Yeah,
well, you haven't obviously listened to the first 30 episodes of Tangent. Flipping heck, I don't even think we had comics then.
Wow. Yeah, my fast forward button worked pretty well. Matt, on to the musings.
On to the musings, right. Okay, so we start off with, actually, Adrian Lord, friend of the show.
Old friend of the show.
Actually, Adrian, I hope you're doing well, Adrian. Adrian actually was just about to jet off to Crete, just as we uploaded the last show, and apparently he's on his search for Penny. Search that Star Trek sequel, Search for Penny.
Yeah.
Or the hunt for Red Penny. Yeah, so I don't know how he's getting on, but there's been he gave us a few updates. He was about to listen to the show, Then he did actually listen to it, and he said he'd loved the covering of the brother story. That's what Neil took us through.
Yeah.
And he loved the Roy's caps. But what he did say was that he thought by now he was probably deserving of his own theme tune. Because obviously Trevor gets his theme tune, it's more of his music, and he's got a really good point. He's got a really good point, really. I mean, I was thinking maybe we should say comment from the House of Lords. So this is a comment from the House of Lords.
Or let's think of something. He is the Lord of the pod, said he.
Very good, very good.
Or my sweet Lord.
Yeah, very good. Okay, you're right.
I've got about six more, but I'll leave it.
I was going to say, Gull, you go away and you work on those for episode 81. Otherwise, we'll never get through episode 80.
I'll tell you, if your reaction to my Queen song is anything to go by, I won't fucking bother. Oh, I swore. I'm so sorry.
We're all off to Crete. He's on fire. That swear jar's getting full again.
I apologise.
Anyway,
don't
Adrian.
worry, Gull, it's not your fault. It's just us. We're all going slightly mad.
I'm still doing it.
He won't stop. You know he won't.
Well, the show must go on. Carry on.
Oh, very good.
Right. So Adrian, I think he's still out in Crete, probably trying to drown in the swimming pool out there or something like that, just to get away from this. Glad you enjoyed it, Adrian. Hope you like the theme tunes. Also, give us a bit more time and we'll work on something better. Although I'm not too sure if that's actually possible. Thanks for your comments, Adrian, as ever. Trevor, he came up with this. So Psychic Octopus sidelined as Champ We Are United give match attacks Euros verdict. At the end of the day, the analysis and tactical sparring between the Champ We Are United comic sages on the upcoming UEFA European Championship finals can only be described as a top drawer punditry. Because remember, obviously, last time we gave our thoughts around the Euros.
Yeah.
Said even Satan Greavesy would have struggled to live with the informed #1 UK football comic podcast.
Oh, all right, Saint. Nice one, Greavesy.
And he goes on to say that we didn't actually have Paul the Octopus, because remember Paul the Octopus from the Euros in 2008, the German octopus. I think the octopus is dead. We couldn't afford the octopus, so that's why we had to part with Simmo and Tangent. So yeah, he carries on. While Tangent deployed his collection of match attacks cards to delve into Europe's football fixture, Simmo, the podcast Voice of Reason, or VOR official, used a predictor from the pages of a well-known broadsheet newspaper. A statement released by Champ We Are United PR agency suggests that the reason why the 8-limbed clairvoyant was overlooked for the selection was because he sadly passed away in 2010. However,
that hasn't stopped me.
It is. He says being alive has never previously been a prerequisite for a Champ We Are United team. Could you do an impression of an octopus?
I am. There you go.
Like it. Good. That's well worth the money off of Amazon.
I know.
And the emission of the deceased octopus from the Champ We Are United International Squad.
See what you did there.
See what you did there, yeah. Anyway, what did you say? Oh, yeah, you enjoyed Bygone Berrigan's invaluable, incisive contributions to proceedings because he took us through, was it the brothers, wasn't it? Yeah,
the brothers.
The life and times of Kenny and Kevin. Just realised Kenny, must have been Kenny Dalglish and Kevin Keegan, wasn't it? Did we mention that last time? Anyway,
it was actually Swanson, but yeah, go on.
No, but that's what it was.
Oh, the
I don't think they're Kenny Dalglish and Kevin Keegan.
Do you know something? And I can't remember the story. In one of the short stories on Football Picture Story Monthly, there was a striking duo of Kenny Dalkeith and Charlie McNichol. I have no idea where they might have got those names from.
Fantastic.
And then he goes on to say, if the Three Lions and the Tartan Army put on a show at Euros as good as the Champ We United team did in episode 79, then football is finally, he does say a couple of words, one beginning with C and the other one beginning with H, which I don't never say that. It's a load of bullshit.
No.
It's not.
Did you just swear? Swear jar volume 2.
So, thanks a lot, Trevor. Again, amazing. Thank you very much for feedback. Really appreciate all the time and effort you put into it. Adrian then carries on saying, I think I found her. He's in a restaurant in Crete called David's. He thinks he's actually found Penny, but he can't take a picture. Thanks.
I thought he was going to say he found Paul the octopus.
It's probably, no, but I think he had the calamari for starter. So I don't know.
Oh, stop.
You have no idea how long it takes to cook that stuff.
I'll tell you what,
Incredible.
if he's going to approach Paul the octopus, he's going to have to be very, very tentative. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Oh, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
No, we have George Prince.
Friend of the show.
A US friend of the show. He just listened to the Nipper episode, and he said it was great. He said thanks for mentioning the issue numbers too. It really helps him locate the comics. No problem, George. And yeah, he did say, how did you become a friend of the show? Because some people just get their names read out. Some call friends of the show. Some get theme tunes. Good question, George. Basically, it's all to do with how much money you pay us. Trevor, it's bankrupt him. He has to. He's been kicked out of his house just because we give him a theme tune. We give him like 10 minutes every show.
We really must actually ask Trevor, how is the shelter going?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for the money, Trevor.
Yeah, thanks for the money and the feedback. You know we love it.
Ridders wouldn't be able to get married if it wasn't for you, Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. And I think that's. Oh yeah. Moving on. There was a mention on sorry, and obviously Twitter. Thank you to Aussie Lee.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Really enjoyed the Euros chat and the predictions. And he's obviously there was that one in '66 when Roy didn't go to the '66 World Cup and ended up going to Australia.
Yeah.
And he said, in fairness, who wouldn't choose an Australian tour over the chance to be in a '66 World Cup squad? Of course,
that's true.
Everyone would rather be there.
You can't argue with that, can you?
You can't argue with that, can you?
Can't argue with that.
No.
So
you can't argue with that now.
No, you can't argue with that.
Says the voice of reason, so therefore it must be true.
About half an hour late, but thanks.
Well,
he's on fire today.
So we've got a George Prince of the Pod. Prince of the Pod.
Oh, Prince of the Pod. Love it. Lord of the Pod.
Prince of the Pod.
Lord, a prince. I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray.
And we've also had a theme song based on Queen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cracking darts there, Simmo. That was it. Yeah. Queen. Oh, fantastic.
Anyway, that's it.
I need to lie down.
Oh,
brilliant.
Back to you, Paul.
Thank you.
Gull has laid down.
Brilliant Melvin's musings. Well, I've got bad news for Gull. We better get up pretty quickly. But yes, thank you to all those friends of the show and some good questions there. What makes you a friend of the show? We'll keep on putting in all that brilliant feedback on the social media and you will become a friend of the show. And obviously you've seen Melvin's musings and Gull's cleaning out those pipes and is ready to think of new theme tunes every episode. So we look forward to hearing more from all of you, but it is now time to hand over to Gull for, I think, a Playmaker role.
Yes. Do you know what? I forgot I was next. To quote Airplane, what a pisser. Oh, I'm not ready. I haven't done any research. Oh, I have, actually. So, yes, thank you for that intro again, Paul, Tangent Paul.
You're welcome.
I'm looking at Gary Lineker's Hot Shot from... thank you for putting it up on screen. Lovely. Normally, the covers actually were mainly drawn, and they were like, they're front to back. I'm not sure if Matt's got the other picture of David Rocastle on the back.
I do.
So, yeah, I've interrupted myself there. So, dated Monday, the 12th of October, 1988. Of course, it merged into Roy the Rovers. I'm basically, as I have in the past covered some of the stories in Hot Shot, I'm just going to focus on two brief ones. And the first one is Andy Steele Playmaker, which I absolutely loved. And I know that Tangent, you liked it too.
Big fan. Yep, I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay, so yeah, this one is when Andy Steele of Millside City in the First Division, 15-year-old Andy Steele, known as the Playmaker, is picked for the England under-21s, which is quite fascinating, really, at that age, 15. Yeah. He's picked to play for England against Bulgaria's under-21s. And the first picture, as you can see, obviously, listeners, you can't, but hey, if you want to come into the studio, you'll be able to see them.
If it goes up on YouTube, they might be able to see it.
Thank you
Projected
very
onto
If
the
it goes
big
up,
wall
if it
in the
goes up.
studio.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, as I was just about to mention. Thank you. So yeah, it starts off with Andy going into the dressing room, and he's being a little bit ribbed by his teammates. One saying, "Oh, here he comes, our youngest international," and there's some nice feedback. Well done, son, you deserve it. Oh, but it's his teacher's happy because he'll be able to learn about geography by going over to Bulgaria. Anyway, the manager for Millside City is my eyesight's going, and oh dear me, not good. The manager for Millside City is talking to him. He's called Jerry Doherty.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a great honour, but I should warn you about one of their players. Oh, Andy says, "Oh, I know, Igor Vanescu." Oh, sounds scary already. They
Igor,
don't call him
yeah.
the executioner for nothing, he says.
Yes.
Bloody hell, what a nickname. And he's only 15, as you can see. Look at the size of the manager against Andy Steele. Andy's about 3'1".
He does look a bit like
It
Tony
does look a bit,
Cottee.
yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
looks
Yeah,
a bit
he
like
does.
that. The main picture looks like
Mm.
Tony Cottee. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Jerry Doherty was a little known fact. He was 6'7".
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
Gull.
Okay.
Sorry, Gull.
And isn't Voice of Reason Simmo supposed to come out with these amazing facts?
I just think he's telling us a tall story.
Oh, dear me. Oh, you know what? Oh, dear me. I mean, I'm not
Let's
like...
hope. Go on, Gull.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go on, let's hope what?
I was just going to say, let's hope the plane lands in Bulgaria as well as that last joke from Simmo did.
Oh, dear.
Reported missing then.
Anyway, the boss...
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Mickey Jordan. Go on.
Finished?
Yeah.
Thank you. Who's Mickey Jordan?
Mickey Flash Jordan, Kings
I know,
Bay
I'm-
centre forward that kidnapped.
I know, I'm just kidding. Christ. I'm not
No,
like
kidnapped,
you doing...
not kidding. Kidnapped.
I'm not like you. I don't do 7-hour ones. I've nearly
Sorry,
finished.
apologies. Yeah, apologies.
You want to watch out for Gull, you see. You mentioned Flash Jordan. He's being merciless right now, isn't he?
Oh, dear. Oh, I'm so glad you came back, Simmo. Really, honestly, the podcast was exactly the same while you were away. So, can I
Right
carry
back
on
at
now?
you.
Yep, brilliant.
Anyway, the manager's saying to Andy, he was obviously quite nervous that you'll be able to come back in one piece because Millside's what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not
Physio.
sure. Physio, yeah.
That's the one. It is England's physio. I mean, why would you not know that? You play for Millside City. Your physio.
You think you'd be aware? Yeah.
Oh, that's a surprise. And next frame, and these are only 3 pages, these 2 stories, and I'm already on, Anyway.
You're doing well.
Thank you very much. I'm not used to doing this, by the way. I normally write my notes, but I've written notes and I've got the comic with me.
Oh.
Thank you.
And who says men can't multitask?
Exactly. Goal, apparently.
I quit.
Hey, and there you go, listeners. Cross that one off your bingo card.
Yeah, well, playing bingo is more interesting than listening to this. Anyway, at home, he's talking to his Uncle Bill, and he's buffing up his boots. And that's not a euphemism. And I'm not superstitious, says Andy, but my luck has got much better since I've had these boots. Little bit of a Billy's boots nod there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And Uncle Bill says, you look after them, and they'll look after you. They're only bloody boots. Anyway, he goes off to London on the train and goes to FA headquarters, and he meets the England under-21s manager, and he's very nice to him.
Just on that goal, it's funny because he says, again, going back to like you say about the physio, he meets the England under-21 manager. He goes, "Hello, Andy, welcome. I'm Dave Leonard, the manager." It's like,
yeah, I know.
You wouldn't necessarily know who selected you, though, would you?
Oh, if you think this is weird, you wait until I get onto the striker one.
Okay, go on, keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, the manager's saying, that most of you have not played together. but we'll sort something out in training. It'll all be good. So off they fly, and they end up going to a very posh hotel. And are you enjoying this, lads?
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Excellent. And yeah,
Would you want to clap? It's not even finished yet.
I know. I'm just saying. So they're having a bit of a training session, and Andy is looking great as always. You know, he's flowing and all of that. And then, of course, he's warned by the coach: just beware of the executioner, Andy. That's all. He'll try to put a stop. Oh, I know. He'll try and put a stop to your silky skills. And he's 15. He's going to need bloody counselling after this. Anyway, that evening, huge crowd, 60,000.
I know. That's amazing.
Wow.
And his teammate
under 21s.
Oh, I know. His teammate says, "Well, you wish we had gates like this back home." Oh yeah, blimey.
But just on that, when was this go? This is 1988. This is the period when even the first full England team didn't get sellouts at Wembley. Do you remember those days?
Exactly. Yeah.
For friendlies, you get like 30,000 or something like that. You know. Yeah.
Well, Andy still hadn't had his brilliant Italian 90 at this point, had he? Sorry, go.
I think. I mean, when Torquay were at Wembley on one of the occasions in a playoff final, it got moved to Friday because England were playing on the Saturday, and I think the crowd. I think they were playing Chile, and the crowd was very poor. But I might have got those two things.
No, you're right. They were really low. Yeah, it was
like
post
18,000 or something.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah.
Which is astonishing.
It is.
So yeah, they're quite in awe of the crowd, and then you see the bottom right-hand corner, Andy's looking at. Well, he calls him a prize bullfighter, but if I may, and I'll put £1 in the swear jar, he looks like a brick shithouse. There's a little bit of the hard man about him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
He's a tough cookie, is that Vanescu?
Oh, thank you. Oh, I was worried about that. So yeah, and then he talks to Andy. This was Veruca, whatever he's called. And yeah, I know I couldn't say Varescu for a second then. You know. Anyway, the executioner talks to Andy really nicely, and Andy's like, "Oh, you're quite nice actually, after all, aren't you?" Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Anyway, so Andy's off again with his silky moves, and I mean. The Veruca man slides in to try and tackle him, and Andy Steele's got him. He's just he's sold him one, hasn't he? As you can see.
Yeah, it's a superb piece of art in the middle. It's got to be a swoosh.
It is swoosh underneath, and like on the bench, they're saying, "Oh, good ball, excellent." I was right to pick him. Oh, mature skills. He started out like he's a veteran. Then. Varescu, the executioner, comes in for a tackle on Andy, and I mean a tackle, and he goes flying through the air. There's a great picture, a great frame. You know, it's got him big time. And the bench, get on there quick, George, quick. The executioner, which wasn't easy for me to say, has clattered Andy this time. Final frame. You've got the coach, the physio, running on with his bag, and Andy is just doubled up on the grass, and he is well injured. So so tune in next episode to find out what happens. But you won't find anything there because I'm not doing this next episode. That's Playmaker.
That was excellent. That was excellent. I mean, say those last two frames or two panels, superb artwork, and what you have as a bit of a cliffhanger for next week. You got next, and you got booked, i.e., he got booked for that. He should have been. I mean, he should have had 5 years.
I mean, I don't know if they'd get away with like having a man that looks like a brick shithouse. I mean, you know, they used to play over 21s in the under 21s, didn't they?
Yes, you were allowed one overage player.
Yeah, and I reckon that he's about 23, 24. That wouldn't be allowed. You could.
Yeah, but I know. But to be fair, he's 15, so stupid. I think picking someone who should be paying for Grange Hill, shouldn't we?
It would have been allowed. And Paul Davis was still playing for the England under 21s at 27, I think.
Right. Okay.
Thank you very much. Just a quick mention on the right hand side. There is go back one if that's okay. If you can. On the screen, there's Magic Man, which is the only other story that went over to Roy the Rovers when it merged. Hotshot and Roy the Rovers merged. And now I quite enjoyed that strip. But I might do something about Magic Man again in the future, maybe episode 129 or something like that.
I'll just hold on, 129. Just making a note of that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Can you make it 130? Because according to my notes, we've got quite a full schedule for episode 129.
Oh, blimey!
How do you know? You're being sat by then.
I must admit, I'm amazed I've been invited back for a second go at hosting.
I'm amazed that we let you do it the first
time. Before, so are you moving on? Are you finishing with Playmaker here, Gull, now?
Yeah, but I've got another strip to go on. What were you going to say about Playmaker? Did you
well, no, it's
that?
just I did enjoy that, but it was interesting. A couple of things. It was Lancaster Gate that he went to in England, but also you know when you showed him, talked about him buffing his boots and everything. Remember, the story was actually sponsored by the boot manufacturer, and of course the boot of this Quasar was Gary Lineker's boots at the time as well. Because of course,
and an interesting. Sorry to interrupt. An interesting thing to mention as well. That in the earlier strips you'd have on the first page, Andy Steele Playmaker sponsored by Quasar. I can't quite read the little bit at the bottom.
Yeah, well, it was. Well, that's what it said. Yeah,
but you don't see Quasar until that point on the shirt. When he's buffing his boots, so they're not getting much value for money there, to be honest.
Well, they were the sponsors of Millside, though, weren't they? Remember, so if it had been the football action had been Millside, it would have been Quasar.
Oh, well said.
Yeah,
well said.
I'm a big fan of Quasar. I was the first person in the UK to get a pair of Quasar boots. I won a competition in the Sun newspaper, but that's a story for another day. If I've not already told it.
Well, you just
talking about being in publications. I don't know.
So, Gull, on to Striker.
So,
Gull, brilliant, fantastic. Really enjoyed that on Playmaker, and I think you've moved on to Striker now.
Yeah, the other strip I'll quickly look at, and just before I start, to the other members of the team in the studio sat next to me, the artwork that it looks very, very familiar.
And for Striker,
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Striker.
It looks like the artwork for the Kangaroo Kid. Do you remember the Kangaroo Kid? I think the Kangaroo Kid was a story from Scorcher. It looks like that, but go on, it might not be that one, Gull. But
okay. So yeah, Striker. We did have a question a few episodes ago on the Facebook page about someone saying, "Oh, he had knowledge of a strip called Striker," and of course, some people responded with, "Oh, Pete Nash's Striker," and of course, as Tangent would have probably said as well, "Oh no, it was a strip in Gary Lineker's Hotshot." So I'm briefly going to go through this. And this is quite bizarre. Try not to read the speech bubbles until I've got. So you've got Second Division Cranville Athletic, who is owned by Jordan Industries. The club chairman had said that he would donate £1,000 every time his son, who is the main striker, scored, to avoid bankruptcy. What? So you're only going to give the £1,000 to one player scoring? What about the rest of the team? What? And why don't you put the money that you're going to give to? Oh, can you imagine at the end of the season he scored none? Oh well, can you still?
Well,
invest?
If it was Millwall, then his money was safe. Yeah,
but I do believe, Gull, unless you're going to allude to this, there is a hidden agenda behind that, don't you?
Oh God! Oh, this is
in this episode or not?
Well, in the whole background of the story. So maybe I'll save that to the end then.
Yeah, keep
please.
going.
It's only about this one.
Yeah, sure.
Which is bizarre. So you've got the chairman. His son is the top striker, and he'll only give £1,000 to him scoring. Very, very bizarre. So Cranville continued to apply the pressure. And Nigel Perkins was round his man, and he needs to centre it because there's Tony Jordan in the centre waiting to try and get the nod on, and off he goes. It comes in. My ball, says Jordan. My ball, wallop, which is weird because he's shouted my ball after it's come off his head. But that's just semantics, of course. But that's a cracking shot, isn't it? Although I wonder if the goalie, if that's the goalie's, no, it was probably a defender. That
it's a
defender's
defender's
foot is
boot.
going right in Jordan's face.
Yeah. No.
You know, we won't
He
be able to
managed
say
to avoid it. He managed
Oh
to
yeah,
avoid it.
yeah.
he
yeah.
did
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
next page. You know, so that's the second goal he scored in the game. That's 2,000 you've earned for the club already, son. No, he wasn't saying it to his son. That was from the other player. But bad news. Nigel's
Oh, no.
hurt. He fell badly when he made that cross. Seriously
Nigel.
hurt. I know. Oh, mate, you're right.
I'm fine.
I don't think.
Sorry, you're talking about Nigel.
Yeah.
I don't think I can go on, says Nigel. Too right, chum. Looks like you've pulled a muscle at least. Shocking. So Tony. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. This game. This is where it gets even more bizarre. So you've got the chairman, and his son is the striker, but he's now playing his first game as player manager.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's player manager.
Now, this is his first game as player manager. Forgive me, I forgot that bit.
Goal. Can I just
in all fairness,
go back?
Goal, so had Tony.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, you've ruined it now. Oh, go on. What were you going to say, Matt?
Goal. Have you noticed that the for some bizarre reason when Nigel's on the ground being injured, there's somebody just starts to do the YMCA dance.
Yeah, I think he's calling
is that inappropriate time? Yeah.
Well, you've got to
bizarre.
entertain the crowd while the match is
entertain
stopped
the
and they're
crowd,
getting
yeah.
the physio.
The
on,
cheerleaders.
so.
I think he's just trying to send a message to the young man.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh,
Ball is on fire tonight. Everything is correct.
I wonder if he's trying to sign someone from America, like a New York City boy or something. I don't even know if no, that's too completely
I'll cut that
different.
out.
Probably
Keep
shouting
going.
at him, young man, there was no need to go down, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So, Goal, you'd forgotten that Tony was player manager.
Yeah. Because I've got my backup notes, but I'm actually reading it with you guys as well. So yeah, he completely forgets that his first game as player manager, and says, "I wonder which of the subs is going to come on." And like his colleague, he's got a little smile on his face, going, "I think you've forgotten something, boss. It's your decision now." And he went, I forgot that for a minute. That I'm player manager, and he shouts over, "Jeff Goodman, you're on."
Wow.
I mean, he only
decisive.
looks at I know, and then you've got director's box, Mr. Jordan Senior, and strange decision from your lad there, bringing on another forward with a 2-0 lead. We should have a new defender on, and Mr. Jordan's like, "Relax, Smythe, Smythe, relax, Smythe." I'm doing the voices as well. Tony knows exactly what he's doing. Goodman won't, no mistakes here. But Goodman, he comes on. The ball goes straight to him. And he's booted it upfield. Oh, no, hang on. It could go anywhere. And it's bounced onto one of their forwards. What happened there? Deflections or something? I don't know. I can't quite work out where the ball was coming from and where it was going, to be honest. But hey, it's one of the forwards. Oh, Goodman's made a gift of it. Oh, no. They've pulled one back. It's 2-1. Oh, thanks to that hurried clearance. Wake up your ideas, Goodman. Christ. That told him, didn't it? From someone in the crowd, 25,000 seats back. You still with me, lads?
Yeah.
It's a bit longer than I anticipated.
You're good. You're all good.
Oh, so still think your son did the right thing? I don't know who that is now.
Smythe.
He's been drinking anyway.
Yeah, Smythe.
One little setback isn't a total disaster. Anyway, I think it's Goodman there saying, "Sorry, boss. Is he saying I messed that one up?"
I sure loused that one.
Yeah, I loused that one up.
Loused.
Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. Forget it. Make amends by showing everyone how you can create goals for us. So he's being really nice to him there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just four frames to go before I finish this section. Jordan isn't being unselfish now. I've got to get the ball to Goodman. I've got to sort out his confidence before it's completely gone. So he gets the ball over to Goodman. Oh, that's more like it. Great ball control, says Jordan, the player manager, son of the chairman, General Dog's body groundsman. So the final 2 frames, here we go. And yeah, Goodman, number 12, he's on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's like the boss shouts, "Go on, Jeff, belt it." Goodman says, "No way. You're the one that gets the money when you score. I'm passing the ball to you." What? What? How? Do you see what I mean? Why not give the money every time someone scores, and then the final frame? And don't read the final frame if you can. I'm going to give you a quick 10-second quiz. You're the one. He says about you're the one. I'm passing the ball to you, but it doesn't. I don't think it gets to him. And the boss says, "Remember, he's just been nice to Goodman, to sort out his confidence." I think you've read it already, haven't you, Tangent?
Unfortunately, yes.
Does he say, "Don't worry, son, but you need to score if the opportunity's there. 2 of 3, rest easy, it's all right. Or 3 of 3 to sort out his confidence. You've ruined everything." Which one is it?
It's C. Definitely C.
You're clearly, you've ruined everything.
That's
and
fair
then
enough.
next it says big news. Oh, okay.
That's going to be in next week's edition.
Yeah, I know. What were you going to say, Tangent, about the bigger picture?
Well, I must admit, I'm second guessing myself now, but the Tony Jordan's father, who's the chairman, has bought the club, but he doesn't want Tony actually playing football. He wants him in the family business. So it's one of those things again. So I think that's the reason
Kenny Logan.
He's kind of, he's sort of only paying for his son to score the goals. And I think really the big hope is that this football thing's just a passing phase for Tony Jordan, and that, when it's not working out, he can go and work in the family business, and either he'll close the club down or just sell it on. But he really wants he doesn't want Tony banging in the goals or playing up front. He wants him in the family business, which I've forgotten what that is. So
it's clearly been shown that they don't need him.
Yeah.
I mean, this Goodman must be one hell of a player. Look at all the amount of time he's got on the ball in that last frame before the defender gets to him. He's got time to have a full-blown conversation. It's brilliant.
Well, you got
but it's a very
bizarre.
Sorry to interrupt. It's a very bizarre setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just weird. I mean, even announcing that he's going to give £1,000, that's already like, well, that doesn't work at all. And I was going to say earlier on, I don't know if I completed the sentence, but maybe at the end of the season and his son hasn't scored, is he going to put the money in anyway? Well, why not just put the money in for all of the players who score?
But that's the point. He doesn't want really to be. He's trying to ingratiate himself to his son, but he doesn't really want the football to be a success. He doesn't really want. I've forgotten the name of the team. I can't believe it. He doesn't really want them to do
Cranville, isn't it?
Cranville, yeah. He doesn't really want them to do.
I say. Oh no, that's not that. That's Fred Elliott, isn't it? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's good.
Cool.
That's quite an interesting story, actually.
No, that is a very good story, actually.
I'm quite interested in how it finishes.
Yeah. Was Cranville one of the teams from the very early days of Roy the Rovers? I'm sure I've heard it mentioned somewhere before.
It kind of, I don't think he is, but he's making me think of Smith.
Rings a bell.
But yeah, I'll have to have it. I think that might have been Glanville or something. But
it was.
We'll have to come back on that one. I was just going to say though, a question, Gull, if you wouldn't mind, Matt, can you get back to the show us the cover? So we've got the date of this.
Oh yes, I was going to mention about the cover and the back page. There we go. He's bringing it up. For
right, so go on then, Gull. You wanted to mention the cover and the back page.
Yeah, I just most of the other ones had drawings on the front page and on the back, and it was a wraparound, as you can see, people. But yeah, I didn't like that cover so much. But the Rocastle drawing is very good. What were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I just because obviously as you can see there, that's the 12th of November 1988. I think we might have mentioned this, but now if you move to the Playmaker story, Matt, because Gull, this is the question you keep on asking all the time, and there you have it. There's your answer, because it's advertised in the Hot Shot Soccer Book, the annual.
Yeah, exactly.
So that dates the annual.
Oh, that's brilliant. I did actually. I looked at that and I didn't make the connection. That is fantastic. Oh, I could cry.
Oh, don't
So
cry.
I think the weird thing is that will actually be dated as, I think, 1989. But I'll have to think about that because I think I've got it in with other.
So how does it date it in the sense of it's out now? It doesn't mean it came out on the same day, surely.
No, but
it's
because it's November and it's the Christmas annual. And I'm trying to think in my mind now if the Christmas annuals were they the year that they were released, or did they have the year the following year? I don't know.
It's the following year.
It would have been. So that would have been 1989, although it didn't have a date.
Going back to the cover, obviously I'm seeing this on my phone, so it's very small.
Yeah.
What trophy is that they're showing?
That's the Makita. It's a pre-season Makita Tools.
Right, I was just
trophy.
wondering. Like, obviously, I can't really see the trophy very clearly. I was thinking, well, if that's meant to be the League Cup, that was like 18 months ago. It's like really they need to keep up, but obviously it's not that trophy.
Looks like the Ryder Cup. Looks like the Ryder Cup.
Right. I can tell you because that's Wembley in the background, and I was there because I'm an Arsenal fan, and that was the Makita Tools trophy that Arsenal used to play in every pre-season around about that time.
Paul, our teams have all played at and won at. Actually, no, they haven't. So sorry, carry on.
You never won at Wembley, Matt. They never won there.
Well, yeah, playoffs, a couple of times.
Well, you never won the playoffs at Wembley.
Yeah, no, we have a couple of times. Yeah, but it's new Wembley.
I thought you must have done. Yeah,
I know.
Anyway, I was shutting you both up.
That was really good, Gull.
Yeah, thank you. That's my first experience of actually reading it through properly instead of just writing notes and getting confused.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, I really remember that the executioner story as well. I loved that when Mr. Steele made his England under-21 debut. So yeah, I'll go off on a slight tangent. I think
David Steele of the Social Democratic Party.
Exactly.
Oh, no, Andy Steele. Sorry.
Yeah.
Matt's looking at me like, who the hell are you talking about?
No, I do know. I'm just saying, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing David Steele?
Because of Andy
I do know who David Steele is. Thank you.
Anyway, that was longer than anticipated.
No, you're fine. That's all good. No, that's
good
great
stuff. That was really good, Gull.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that, and it's good because I think the striker story and a lot of the stories in Hot Shot as well, definitely worth a visit because I don't think they're as well known as many of the other stories that we feature. So great stuff, Gull. And right then, Matt, are you ready?
Yes.
You're going to take us through an annual.
Yeah. So can you guys see that?
Yep. Brilliant.
Yep. Yes.
Right. Okay. So let's see if this works. Did that move over as well? Can you see that next page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Cool. Yep. Right. So this is the Scorcher annual 1977. Now, this is one of my favourite annuals of all time, and I think it's because I know it's because it was bought for me at the time. This probably would have been Christmas 1976, I'm guessing. So Roy the Rover's, had only been out a few months. I probably only just started reading comics. I would have been 7. Pretty sure my grandparents would have got me this for Christmas. And so, yeah, I just absolutely love this. So I'm going to go through a few of the features and a couple of stories, and probably come back to the rest of them another time. So I've got the for listeners, I've got the cover up on the screen, and it's a great cover. It's a strange cover though, because go on. What do you think's strange about it, Gull? I mean,
it's weird. It's like, what angle is the keeper jumping from?
Exactly.
I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but it's like the striker is in the net. Do you know what I mean?
The keeper's face. It's like the guy's shooting and he's scoring a goal, and the keeper's looking the other way. No wonder he's missed it.
Well, the keeper's actually looking at the ball as it's gone past him into the back of the net, hasn't he? So
his legs are the wrong way as well. His legs are kind of, I don't know how he's got his body into that position.
That looks very weird. Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, for me, the one thing that I noticed on it as well, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming, but I believe that's probably meant to be Nipper Lawrence, is it on the cover?
It looks too stocky for Nipper Lawrence.
Nipper Lawrence, that's what I was thinking, because then it's not. But it's certainly not any other character that I really recognise from any of the Scorcher stories, which is why I've wondered about Nipper.
Scorcher didn't always. I've got a couple of other Scorcher annuals here, or one more anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't really have characters, unlike Tiger and Red the Rovers.
Yeah, on there.
Red the Rovers later.
Mm.
They didn't actually have the characters on the cover. But yeah, this. I mean, and he's weirdly like he's wearing a rugby top as well. It's not. It's like sleeves rolled up. And it's,
that's right. Yeah, it's more of like a throwback to what was the Briggs character in the Hotspur?
Bouncing Briggs.
Those type of characters.
Yeah, which is in the United verse.
Yeah, and it's anyway. That's another cover, but it's So. Just to go through a few bits and pieces. So just turn over the page. You've got page 2 and 3 here. It was £1. What I'm going to do, these have always kind of fascinated me over the years, and I've always enjoyed them. Is when you have these kind of pictorial histories of real teams and real players. And Scorcher used to have a lot of these. Tiger used to have some of those as well, and you get them in the annuals. And this one on page 3 is the Manchester United story. And it's brilliantly illustrated. I never knew who the artist was, and it's only recently Barry Tomlinson was somebody. The exchange of somebody had asked him, because he tweeted out a picture. It wasn't this, but it was another one by this artist. And it's actually a guy called Robert Bond or Bob.
Oh right,
Bond.
Interesting.
Yeah. Robert Bond.
I think the guy. I think he's still alive. I think I found him on LinkedIn as well.
Wow.
So and he used to do. I think he used to do all of these. So this is he started off. He was in the first ever Scorcher, but it's all different features. So you've got world highlights, match day highlights, top trophies, the Bobby Charlton story, the Celtic story. But anyway,
just out of interest, Matt, that one obviously, like I said before, because I'm watching this on my phone, and it's like it's just like a windowed shot. It's very small, so I can't read the text.
Okay.
Is that bottom picture? Is that meant to be Johnny Carey?
Johnny Carey,
the one right at the bottom with the guy in the suit. Yeah.
Johnny Carey, far left.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that is fantastic artwork then, because for me to recognise that
on your phone,
on this size,
well, I'll tell you what,
that is fantastic drawing.
Do you know something, listeners? I've got to say, not only is that fantastic drawing, but that is fantastic vor work as well there, because there's no way that I would have recognised Johnny Carey, or even necessarily known who Johnny Carey was. So there you go. Vor at its best. Vor at its best.
We went
straight. Funnily enough, from what I can see, the very top picture in the top right-hand corner, the guy whose face on the left, you can only see like half of his face. To me, from here, looks like Doug Wilson.
Yeah, I don't think it was, but yeah.
It's not very well known, but Wilson was at Manchester United before he moved to Riverton.
Right,
exactly.
Was that after he was at Brighton?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the year of that picture?
Which picture? What picture are you talking about? The
team.
Oh, the team. The team. That's 1908. That's when they won the first. So anyway, just for listeners, it starts off back from the formation in 1878, where they were first called Newton Heath, Manchester United, and these as you were saying there, Simmo, the artwork is superb, and imagine reading this as a 7-year-old. I mean, I'd heard of Manchester United, but this is quite interesting because you're hearing about how they were first formed, and then you're hearing about a bit of glory they had early on. They won the first league championship, then they won the FA Cup, and it's like, oh yeah, this is quite interesting. But it's the artwork that really kind of draws you in, and then you're right. Then it comes down to the post-war years. It says 1945, Matt Busby joins, and then skillful young players like Johnny Carey, far left, and Jack Rowley were already first team stars. So this is quite interesting. It's interesting already because you're drawn in by the artwork. Then you turn over the page. So this is on to page 4, and then you've got
colours.
Oh, it's just superb, isn't it? It's the artwork, but the colours. You're right, Gull. The colours really kind of draw it out. And you see, even there, you've got 1948, new manager. So Busby's there, and there's lots of internationals, and the fans were fueled by United's classy football. And you've got pictures of the crowd there, and you can see they're really excited by this guy. He's really kind of drawing it out. And then it is brilliant. And you go down, there's lots of them actually wearing blue. But anyway, it kind of moves on to the next page, and then it starts talking about the beginnings of the Busby Babes. And so you have Tommy Taylor, and I say a terrific centre forward was one of them. Duncan Edwards, powerful wing half who frequently burst through to hit unstoppable shots at goal. Then you have Roger Byrne, he's holding up the league championship. Hello?
Gull, sorry. I thought he was having a go at me.
No, I wasn't.
No, he was taking a shot at me.
Okay. And then you had Roger Byrne, who holds up the league championship trophy, which they won in 56 and then 57. And then you got David Pegg, a fast and tricky winger. You know, imagine this as a 7-year-old, you're thinking, wow, God, this is really quite interesting. The winning stuff. And then, seriously, the last frame on this page 5, is just like, wow. This is probably the first I heard of the Munich air disaster. And because then you have this picture in the snow coming down, and you've got the debris from the plane. And then you go, these men appear to have a great future of United, and England expected much from them as the 1958 World Cup series drew near, but it wasn't to be. And then they just kind of say a team died, amongst them Taylor, Edwards, Byrne, and Pegg. And it's like, wow. It's like, oh, you know, it's just incredible. But, you know, it's not labor too much on that.
Sorry, Matt, yeah, but just one thing on what I wanted to say, because we kind of mentioned this, but actually I found the artwork there again really interesting, because you can quite clearly see, you know, the debris from but it's not too graphic, if you see what I mean. For a youngster. So you know what's happened, but the artwork isn't too scary, for want of a better word to use. Yeah, as I say, it's not too graphic. So I've got to say, I think that's really well put together, that panel.
That's what I was thinking. It's so powerful. It says all you need to say for that audience, which is like, you know, young kids really.
Yeah.
But then you turn over the page, and then it's like the first panel is Red Devils fight on, and it's you know, because obviously they got to the cup final, didn't they? They lost the cup final that year, but then it kind of skips ahead and it goes to 1962, where Matt Busby signs Dennis Law, and then it comes around to when they won the FA Cup in 1963, and then it moves on to the 1968 European Cup final, when they beat Benfica 4-1, and you got you got George Best there, you got Bobby Charlton, and you know, in the blue tops, Nobby Stiles. It's just superb. I mean, I think that's the best part. And then it ends when then they're kind of going to a bit of a slump afterwards, obviously. With George Best, he leaves, and then they get relegated. Tommy Docherty comes in. You got the famous, you know, you got Dennis Law there back in the Man City shirt when he backheeled the ball in, and he relegated them. And it ends because this would have been compiled in like 75, 76. So, you know, they have Lou Macari there, Stuart Pearson. But that was it. That was the end of it. And it's just a superb. I mean, the Manchester United story, whether you're a Manchester United fan or not, it's an incredible story. And it's, you know, I've just thought that was really brilliant feature.
Just if you mind, artwork is out of this world. I mean, we all love our comics, and we all know how good the artists are to do what they do. But can you imagine if they had the time and the money to do it like this? How much of an impact they would have had more than what they already do. It's just brilliant.
I was just going to say 2 panels there. We've mentioned the air crash, but if you wouldn't mind going back, just you mentioned the European Cup final, but there's just this fantastic panel there, and you've got Sir Matt Busby, and he's leaning over, and he's so obvious he's giving instructions, extra time, and you've got, you know, the Man United players, there's a couple of them sitting down and there, and it's amazing because you can see that the guys, they are tired. You can tell they've played 90 minutes, but you can almost feel the energy from Matt Busby as well, you know, arousing speech to get them playing. And then on the last page, the picture of Tommy Docherty, he's got his fist in his mouth, and he's obviously shouting out something, and it's just so vivid. Brilliant artwork on those 2 panels. I mean, it all is, but they really do stand out, those.
I know it's a stupid thing to say, but it's like it's 3D.
Yeah.
No,
and that's Robert Bond. Sorry, Gull, keep going.
Sorry, I was going to say, I know that, you know, when art is drawn, it is, you know, there is depth. So it's kind of 3D.
But this is on another level, isn't it, Gull?
It's absolutely some of the best artwork I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really, really
It's
good.
superb stuff. And yeah, so you get the Celtic story. He did the Celtic story in the 1975 annual. So if you want to, if any listeners have got that, you'll know it, or find a copy of it. That's equally as good. But yeah, so that was what a way to start off an annual. It's a superb way to start off an annual.
Yeah, and sorry, just Matt, picking up on what you said. I mean, but I think for when you're that age as well, when you're younger, even if you're not a fan of Manchester United, to read a history like that of another football club, and obviously some of the clubs so prominent and everything that went on, you just would have immersed yourself in that again. You would have just really poured over those facts and the figures and the players and everything. It's brilliant stuff, really.
And
is.
even if you were a United fan, if you were a young United fan, you may be very much in the present. You maybe wouldn't know all that.
No, you wouldn't.
But also, for a 7 or 8 year old reading it then, who might not have an affiliation to a team yet, reading that, I'm wondering how many young kids became Man United fans just because of that.
Yeah,
good point. Good point. Yeah, particularly they were going through a slump at the time, weren't they? So they didn't win anything after they won the European Cup, I don't think, until they got promoted again.
Quite a while.
It was a while.
Yeah, and they won the FA Cup in 70.
Yeah, they stopped Liverpool from doing the double, didn't they?
I think even if they weren't your club, in that era of the late 70s throughout the 80s, I think there were a lot of people's second team.
Yeah.
Because they were like the nearly men, weren't they? That they get so close to winning things, and just the way they played as well. I mean, I'm not a Man United fan by any stretch of the imagination, but that has more to do with the what's happened with Ferguson and the way he took the club. But before that, I always had quite a soft spot for Manchester United because there was just a certain glamour and style that was associated to them.
Yeah, I would say they are the most glamorous team in the whole country. And I'm totally neutral. I'm not saying they're the best, but definitely the most glamorous. Right. Okay. So moving on. Next, there was a feature on Bayern Munich. This was quite interesting. So on the screen, this is pages 10 and 11. Bayern Munich at the time, I think they won the European Cup, didn't they? Twice or 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, 3. Yeah.
So there's a little feature. It's only 3 pages. I've got 2 pages on the screen here, but they were showing their kind of state of the art, fancy. I mean, it looks dilapidated.
I was going to say, do you know what? It actually now looks like my old secondary school, to be quite honest.
My old school, it does.
Well, actually,
it's funny.
Actually, Paul Tangent Paul, it was.
Did you realise you went to Munich?
Yeah. I just realised what they did. They couldn't actually get a photographer over to Munich, so they just took pictures of my secondary school and
Hackney.
Put them on the pages. Yeah, exactly.
Was that Hackney Marshes? That's not.
Well, no.
Maybe, but it certainly wasn't Rodney Marshes.
Oh gosh.
But it's when we go through these annuals, it's a moment in time. It's like a history lesson, really. So you've got. And it's interesting. You just got United that were coming back, weren't they, after being relegated? And then Bayern Munich won the European Cup 3 times in a row. You got Frank Beckenbauer, and what a team that was.
He would have been a brilliant character in the United story, wouldn't he? Can you imagine what they'd have done? It'd have been Fritz Frankenberger or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Frankenfurter. Whoa!
Wow. Sorry, listeners, I'm getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, let Matt go on with it and explain how.
So I'm doing a couple of stories. So I'll do it. It's a 2-part. I'll do some other stories the next time I do part 2 of this annual. But this is Billy's Boots. It started off in Scorcher. This is different artists. So it's not Tom Kerr. It's not John Gillett when he went to Tiger. But anyway, I just love this. So the story is he's at Groundwood. He's in a history lesson, as we find out, and the teacher's calls out Dane. So Billy Dane, what have you got on your desk? Bring it out here. He's been spotted. He's reading something. The book goes up to the front of, and it's the life story of Deadshot Keane. Of course it is. It's the book he was always reading. And the teacher doesn't know who is he, boy. And he goes, it's Deadshot. Core, he was one of the best footballers England ever had, sir. Scored umpteen goals, played for his country. The teacher's not interested. Umpteen, yeah. If you're so interested in Deadshot Keane, you can stay in after lessons for an hour tonight and read it then. Meanwhile, read your history book. And Billy's not happy about this because he's playing in the school football semi-final. He goes, please, sir, I can't stay late tonight. I'm playing in the school football semi-final, as I've just told you, but I told you again.
Sounded just like Billy Dane there, mate.
It did. Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my best Dane accent.
It is.
Not Danish, not Danish.
More like Billy bloody Zane.
But the teacher's not having it. You're staying behind. I told you, Dane. So the team's getting ready, but Dane's not there, and so one of his mates has gone, "Oh, Dane's been kept in. He can't play." When the coach is asking, "Where is he?" He's going, "Okay, Wilkins, you take his place." He says, "Cool, thanks, sir." Lots of cores in this.
Yeah.
"Cool, thanks, sir. Cool, thanks, sir. Cool, lummy. Cool, blimey." And everyone's called Wilkins or Dane. Were you all called by your surname at school?
Not when I went to school, no.
Do they call you Tangent or just Paul?
It was a lot worse than both of those, but I think we'll move on.
May I just interject? At school, we had, sorry, forgive me, this is completely off topic.
As long as you're quick.
At primary school, we had a teacher called Mr. Nutt. That says it all. And on one April Fool day, before we really understood what April Fools was all about, he brought in an air raid siren, started, doing it, and shouted, "It's a nuclear attack! Get under the desks." I was 9, and I swear to you, that's a true story.
Every listener is going, "We understand now."
Yeah, exactly. It's all beginning to make sense.
Yes, it's all beginning to join up.
It would have been. I thought it was going to be something like he was going to be your woodwork teacher or something like that.
So now Billy.
Like my son's music teacher was called Mr. Tune. I mean, how good can it get?
So Billy's fed up. He's like thinking, "Oh God, they would have started before him." And the teacher comes in, goes, "Okay, Dane, you can go off now." But it's too late. He gets to the match, and he goes, "What's the score?" And some of his mates are going, "Groundwood are winning 3-0. The kid who took your place has scored 2 of them, Billy." Oh, he's gutted. And then just before the end, Wilkins scores another. So it's 4-0 to Groundwood, and he's thinking, "Crumbs," he says. "He's got a hat-trick. I don't reckon I'll get in the team for the final now." And guess what? He's right. So he didn't make it. Mr. Kenton, the coach, who kept the same team for the final. So he's there with his grandma. And she says, "Oh, the classic. You look as if you lost 10 pence and found a penny. What's up, Billy?" And he's really gutted. He's cutting into his sausage and peas and probably potato waffles or something like that. He goes to bed and he's reading his book. And here we go, a bit of a flashback and a dream-like sequence, because he reads about the time when Deadshot was out of a cup final team through injury. So he thinks, what happened to him? So now you have frames of seeing Deadshot Keane. And it says Keane's injury was better, but the manager of his club kept the semi-final winning team together. And you've got a couple of his teammates going, "Never mind, Deadshot, we'll be back here next year and you'll be playing." And he's thinking, Deadshot, he's going, "Can't blame the boss dropping me. Good luck, lads." Good luck. Suddenly someone runs on the pitch, hey, Deadshot, get down to the dressing room and change. You're playing. Willie Thompson's just slipped and twisted his ankle badly. And he got this picture of Deadshot and he's like clinching his fist and he's like, "Yes, this is my chance." And he runs back.
Disabled forever, but yes.
It's all about getting in the team. He's thinking about his win bonus. Maybe he gets $1,000 off of his dad. Maybe he's. Then he scores a goal. It's his second goal, and so everything works out well. So Billy, but he turns out the light and he goes, "Oh, Deadshot may have been recalled at the last moment. But I can't see it happening to me. I'm not that lucky." Thinking, well, Billy, you are that lucky normally. Come on, Billy, come on, bit of self-awareness here. Usually things pan out okay. But anyway, he's at school next day, and the coach is there, and he's saying, "Actually, we're going to have a bit of a practice after break. That includes Bates, Robertson, Dane. So they're going to do a bit of a practice. But oh God, crumbs! Billy hasn't got his boots. Oh my God, what's going to happen?" So he's going to have to borrow some.
Schoolboy error.
Schoolboy error.
What a pisser.
That's I think he says that. He says, "Crumbs, what a pisser." He doesn't, because my 7-year-old eyes and ears would have been
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Billy, he's got borrowed kit and he's standing there knock-kneed and he's like thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to do a thing right with these boots. I can't even kick straight." And he's right, because he balloons the ball over the bar. He can't pass. And the coach is thinking, well, it's just as well, really, because you seem to have lost your touch, Dane. So then on the day of the final, they're back in school, they're in the classroom, and the teacher's reading out the register and he goes, Curtis, Dane, Bates, East, Frame. And they're all going, here, sir, here, sir. But then Bates, Frame, and East aren't in. And some kind of spotty kid who's a bit of a know-all clearly, oh, sorry, sir, yes, they've all got measles, sir. They've all got covered in red spots. You know, there's always a kind of
Teacher's
girly
pet.
swat. Yeah, exactly. So 3 of them are out with measles. And Billy's there doing the clenched fist, going, yes, what a result. East and Frame were in the team.
Can I just interrupt there?
Yeah.
I'm going to date myself, but Dane looks like Billy Fury there with a bit of
Or Cliff Richard, a bit of cross between
Yeah.
Billy Fury and Cliff Richard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, so he's thinking I could be in the team. So he's going to be sub because the coach decides to have East and Frame in the team. So he's sitting on the bench and he's watching from afar. And Grandwood they're not doing too well. Peterbury have scored in the first minute. So they're 1-0 down. But then Wilkins, he's not doing as well as he did in the semi-final. And then he twists his ankle. So he has to come off. I know. What a stroke of luck.
God,
So-
it's almost a carbon copy of what happened to Deadshot.
You weren't expecting this, I can tell. So Billy starts jogging on and the coach goes, play up front, go for goal. But Billy's not. He's going funny, just like Deadshot King. He's got into the final because someone twisted an ankle. And hey, what am I running for? The boots seem to be making me go somewhere different. It's almost as if the boots are directing him somewhere. Then suddenly,
No
Graham
way.
would win the ball. Yeah, I know. And they win the ball and they go, oh, quick, Dane's made ground. Bang it up to him quickly. And he goes, okay. And they pass it to Billy and he scores a goal. And he's got the equaliser. Good old Dane. And now the Grandwood are pressing hard for the winner. There's a push on the edge of the box. So it's a free kick, just direct free kick just outside the area. But what's this? Billy's running away from the penalty area. Where's he going? So they take the free kick and lob the ball in, comes in. Everybody goes up for the ball. Keeper punches it, but the coach is going mental. He's going, where's Dane? He should have been in there helping.
Ridiculous.
Oh no, what's happened? It's dropped to him on the edge of the 6-yard box and nonchalant as you like, he's just chested it down and smacks it into the goal. Grandwood have won the game.
Finish. What a finish.
He's walking.
It's just superb, isn't it? It's just so
Yeah.
nonchalant.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And that's it. They've won. So he's back at school the next day, and it's a smug old teacher still talking about the Discovery Australia, which he'd wrote on the board about 3 weeks ago. He hasn't got around to finishing that lesson clearly. He goes, oh, I understand you did rather well in the school cup final, Dane. Perhaps all that football book reading was of some use after all. And Dane goes, yes, sir. Quite happy. And he goes, oh, okay, now we'll see how much you learned from your history. Come out here and write on the board the date Australia was discovered. And he's like, yes, sir. And then the last panel is you see Billy there up the front. He still can't come out of the date. And all his mates are going, oh, look what he's sitting on. He's because when they won the cup, he's got a book and it says presented to the school cup winners 1976. And the thing is, and they go, football mad. That's what Billy Dane is. The end.
The end. Yeah.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Old school artwork there, bloody lovely.
Just a couple of things on that very quickly. The artist, as you said, Matt, is different. But what I found, the school teacher's a different name to the one I recognise. But the picture of Deadshot Keen is not a picture of Deadshot Keen I recognise from any of the artwork that I saw him in the weekly comics.
No,
That feels a bit different there.
And
Whereas
I think,
Billy, I can recognise Billy Dane from this artwork.
yeah, it's an interesting because I think it may have been the first time I actually had read Billy's Boots.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have seen him in Tiger, but this is kind of. I think if I'd seen loads of the John Gillett's artwork, then this would look really odd, and I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But it's that old thing. If I've read this, and even though I think this artist only did a couple of Billy's Boots for a couple of annuals, it didn't put me off it. But
No,
would.
definitely, yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
you're
so
right.
that's-
Actually, thinking about that my thoughts on Deadshot King's pictures are probably from the 80s and the Tiger comics. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So that
With
was
this
Billy's
story,
Boots.
guys, because it's not one that really drew me in because it's got like what you'd call maybe a supernatural element to it, obviously, with the boots having a life of their own. But just going by the era that Deadshot appears to be from, and the name and the fact that the position he plays, I'm getting a hint of Dixie Dean. Was there any kind of connection with anybody kind of hinted at, or?
No, but I believe it kind of, I think everybody that's read the story would have said Dixie Dean. Yeah, it was. I think, I don't think there was ever any mention of it, but it's definitely who Deadshot King was based on. Yeah,
I think it's that sort of. You're right about the era, isn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it was that era. Yeah, and I think that's who it was based.
It started in 1970. So if you're doing a flashback, Dixie Dean would have been what, 30s and 40s, wasn't it? Really? So you're only going back 30 years, aren't you? Really?
Yeah.
So spot on. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So that's it, really. Yeah. How are we doing for time? Do we want to do another one, or should we?
I'll be honest with you. I think we got time to do one more, and then we'll probably wrap it up after that.
Okay. So this is quite a quick story. This is again in the annual, obviously. It's Hot Shot Hamish.
Oh well, we've got to do this. Come on, you can't miss out.
So this is I absolutely love this story, and it's obviously Julio Schiaffino's artwork.
Yeah.
Fred Baker doing it, and it's a bit of a jokey one, but I love it. So you got Hamish there. They're playing in the snow for Prince's Park FC, and it's they can hardly see, and they're thinking they're going to stop the game. They're running through on the attack, and the player number 11 passes the ball to Hamish, and he goes, "There you go, Hamish. See if you can kick that before it gets to the sides of a wee mountain, because it's building up with snow. The snow's building up on it, on the ball." And so the ball gets to Hamish, and he swings at it, but he just skims the snow off the top of it. And it's like, and they're laughing. The keeper's laughing, go, ha ha. Even your hot shot cannot move the ball that size, Hamish. And Hamish thinking, this is weird. I cannot understand it. It's never happened before. But then the next panel is just brilliant. The ball is obviously delayed reaction. It just spins. And it just shoots into the back of the net, and he goes, "The hot shot with the delayed action," and then the referee blows the whistle, and it's just like brilliant, superb, great bit of comedy there. Keeper didn't even see it. So anyway, and then the next frame, it snowed all that week, and so this Saturday's game is called off, and then there's a phone call, and it's a phone call. It's actually Hamish's dad, and he's saying that he's arranging an Island charity all-star match. And he wants Hamish to come over. So he asked Mr. McWhacker, brilliant name, Mr. McWhacker. It's just superb.
Yeah, brilliant.
His manager. And he goes, "Yep, you can take him, and take Andrew Spatcham. He's the goalkeeper. Because you can do with a good goalkeeper." So
he wanted to dispatch him.
Oh, brilliant.
It would have been better with a forward with the name of Dispatchum, wouldn't it?
So you got Hamish and Andrew. They're in a boat now on the next panel, and they're freezing cold, and the rough seas on the way to the island, and he doesn't feel very good. Andrew, he's like going, "I hate this boat, I hate this sea, I wish I hadn't come, I feel ill." But then they arrive at the harbour, and there's loads of school kids meeting them at the harbour, and they all, as Hamish said, they all used to go to the same school as him, all these bairns. Andrew, and welcome home, Hotshot Hamish, because obviously he's a star, isn't he? So the kids are saying, "Oh, show us some football moves, Hamish. Show us your hot shot, mun." He goes, "Okay." And so he's in the town square, and he's just showing it. You put your foot down beside the ball, and you swing your foot like this with your toe done, hitting it with your instep, and power the hot shot. But then suddenly, get back to school, you lot of you. You're going to suffer from taking your time off your lessons. Who is it? It's Miss Hardslap. The school teacher's called Miss Hardslap. Probably pay money for a hard. Anyways, let's not go in. She's pardon?
Is that mouse there?
No.
I know, I'm kidding.
I know.
And it says, "Not one of you will be allowed to watch the football." And so the kids are all disappointed. Half of them have got kilts on. I'm not sure if all school kids had kilts on in Scotland. And they're feeling quite sad for the kids. And Hamish said, "Oh, I'll have a word with her." But she has a right go at Hamish. She goes, unless for you, Hamish Balfour, if I hear one more word out of you, I'll put you across my knee like I did when you were in the Duffers class a few years ago. And obviously he's frightened of her still as well.
Blimey.
So anyway, him and Andy, they trudge off. And Andy says, why is there no snow on your island? And he says, oh, because it all blows over to the mainland. Anyway, they go over and they meet his dad. Hamish's dad's there. And he's going, glad to see you, but I'll tell you, we've got no chance of winning the charity All-Stars match, none at all. And he goes, why is that? It's because North Island have played a dirty trick on us. They've booked up 8 players. We've got McCarran, McBarron, McCarran, McDarren, McFarren, McGarren, and the McHarren brothers.
I'll tell you something. I'm glad I'm not commentating on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it's actually Bobby McFarren. I don't know. But,
Don't worry. Don't worry.
All right, just be happy.
Be
okay.
happy.
I shouldn't have mentioned that.
Don't worry.
Anyway, so clearly they're getting loads of ringers in, and they're professional footballers. But even
Those
worse
are
than that,
Ringos.
yeah, I don't think they're coming over. It's an all-star match. Ringo Star.
Oh, very good.
But he's worried, Hamish's dad, because the trouble is the all-stars that are coming over to play with Andrew and Hamish are a bunch of comedians and film stars as your mates. And so there we have the next following panels are just superb, because the boat comes in and then you see the rest of his teammates come aboard the island. The first one, you have a ballet dancer who just floats down the gangplank. And the second one is a huge wrestler. You can tell is not very agile, perhaps. Then on the next panel, you have a couple of actors who go, you absolutely adore this island, so primitive, so wild, so utterly outlandish. And the other one goes, oh, shut up, stupid. So I don't know who they're based on. Maybe like Tony Curtis or something like that, or some sort of characters from film
like
stars from the 60s or 70s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of those. So you've got a couple of actors, you've got a ballet dancer, you've got wrestlers, and then so they start to do some training, and they're useless. The wrestlers on the ground saying, oh, I need a doctor, I've got a splinter in my finger, so he's rubbish. You've got the ballet dancer who they think, oh, well, he's quite good because he can jump, but he said, no, he's not going to let the ball hit his head. I should think not. I've got brains, he says, in my head. I'm not having them bashed about. So he can't even head the ball. So Hamish is like, I can see why Daddy thinks we're going to lose. And then Andrew goes, a bunch of kids could do better. So Hamish has an idea. And I'm holding up my finger, just like Hamish is holding up his finger as well, because people hold up their fingers when they have ideas, don't they?
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Or
a light bulb goes.
bulb.
Yeah, light bulb. Yeah. But it's probably, don't know if they had electricity on this island. Anyway, a bunch of kids. So what he goes is, he's got an idea. I know. And so he goes to his dad and he goes, leave it with me, Hamish. I'll get the bairns up here. I'll deal with Miss Hardslap. So leaving it to his dad. He's going to sort out Mrs. Hardslap. Not literally sort out Miss Hardslap. But anyway. On the day of the great charity All-Stars match, say the kids are there. They've got their See You Jimmy hats on. They've got tartans around their socks. But we're not going for any Scottish stereotypes at all.
There's no stereotypes in this story.
Absolutely not. Just for the record.
Yeah.
So the kids are there, and so they go in there. And there's a huge. Bearing in mind, I think on this island there was probably like 30 people live on this island. Suddenly, for the match, there's suddenly 50,000 people are in the crowd. So the match starts, and Hamish says he's going to play in defence, and they let all the kids play up front. And he puts in a great tackle at the start, and the crowd go, oh, they'll not get past the big mun. Let's say Andy makes a great save.
What country is that?
Don't nail me down. I don't know. Caragua. I think it's Caragua.
So how Neil pronounced it last episode.
That's how Neil pronounced it. So it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Copyright bygone Berrigan.
Yeah.
So the schoolboys are doing some great one-touch stuff. Actually, it's almost
I've got to say,
headers and volleys. It's really
brilliant
stuff.
Little move.
4 headers actually. They don't score, but it's anyway. But they don't score. But then late in the second half, North Island score a goal. Andy misses it, and Hamish just misses it. So it's 1-0. It's oh god. So Hamish's dad does a fantastic impression or early impression of the Alex Ferguson hair dryer treatment behind the goal, going, "What do you think you're doing? There's 1 minute to go, and you've won doing. get up that end and score. Did I tell you it's a Geordie? Did I tell you it's a Geordie? It's a Geordie. And so
I'll tell you what, it's a good job Brad's not here. He'd quit as well.
So from the kickoff, Hamish now thought, I'm going to go push forward. They decided not to play the Southgate way anymore. They decided to actually play attacking football. And so again, some brilliant intricate plays to you, to me, to you. It's like Chuckle Brothers playing football. Sorry, go on. Did you want to say something, Paul?
I was just going to say, I wish the England midfield could play the way these young laddies can in this charity game.
Did he bring on Cole Palmer? I'm not quite sure.
Yes, I'd tell you, it took about one touch. There's even a back heel flick in there.
Oh, it's a brilliant that flick and on.
Yeah.
Come in, super stuff. And the last it's a brilliant cushioned right foot volley to Hamish, and it's the hot shot. There you go, full blast, rips the net. Keeper with his knees trembling. Somebody on the kilt is jumping out of the way as well. It's 1-1. And it's just absolutely, I just love when Hot Shot Hamish hits the hot shot. It's just one of the best football comic panels ever. Anyway, and so that's it. It's 1-0 at the end. So the guy from North Island shakes his hand. He goes, all right, Balfour. So it's a draw game. We split the charity money. And Hamish Balfour's dad said, McFine, half at North Island and half at South. And then the last couple of panels, you have what's happened to Miss Hardslap. So to keep Mrs. Hardslap, the actors are put on a show. So you've got the wrestler strangling the actor. You've got the ballet dancer there, and you've got someone doing Alas Poor Yorick. That to be or not to be, that is the question. And she's just loving it.
Yeah,
Miss Hardslap. She loves the arts. And then you've got Hamish's dad, thanks him for coming. So glad to see you're not too proud to come and help your old daddy out on his island. And you go, it's been a pleasure, Daddy. And I think the All-Stars preferred to amuse Mrs. Hardslap. It was a bit too cold for them at outside. And that's it. And that's the end.
Brilliant. That is fantastic. Story. Yeah, that is. I love it. I love old Hot Shot Hamish. That is a brilliant story as well. I've got to say, I'm very impressed with those kids for that team, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't. You know, like you think back and you think, how many times did I read this? And it's probably one of those things. You had the annual, and God knows how many. You just go back and you reread them time and time again, like you guys have done with Champ and the Football Story monthlies. And when you're a kid, you don't know how often you read it, but I could probably tell you that story without even reading it because I know it so well, and it's like nearly 50 years ago.
Yeah. Brilliant. Sorry, just quickly on that, the when he's training with the wrestler and stuff, just brilliant. The comedy in there is just so good, isn't it? All the panels, brilliant.
I was just going to say, because I don't think I didn't mention this earlier, but you know the podcast When Shorts Were Short, by Daniel Ruiz Tyson. I know this is one of his favourite annuals, and it's a shout out because if anybody hasn't listened to it, he did an interview with David Hunt, who was the editor of Scorcher, and it's brilliant. So if anybody hasn't listened to that, I recommend that. So that's When Shorts Were Short. Go and listen to that. David Hunt, that's brilliant. That talks about the beginnings of Scorcher, and it's fantastic stuff. That's it.
Cool. Brilliant stuff. Well, I've got to say, listeners, I think we're very close to the 90-minute mark, and I've got what a fantastic game of two halves that was. Goal with the Playmaker, striding through midfield and laying it on there for mute button Matt with Hot Shot Hamish smashing it into the old onion bag, as they would say. So I think with that, we'll move on to the social media, and I'll spring it on. So there's 3 nervous faces suddenly in the studio wondering what I'm going to ask of them. Gull, would you like to do the forum for us?
I would like to, so I will. It's www.champweareunited.proboards.com, and as we always say, 55,000 plus posts. Any subject of comic that exists is probably on there. Great resource for your research. It's more of a reference site now, of course, because we use the Facebook and groups. But if you want to join us, you can.
Fantastic. And Gull mentioned the Facebook groups there, so I will mention the details of those. So we've got the Champ, We Are United and Football Picture Story Monthly Fans Facebook group. And then we've got the Roy of the Rovers comic 40 years on, in brackets Melchester Rovers. And as I always do, friend of the show, that group obviously created by Ed Taylor. Once again, a massive thanks for Ed for that. And those are brilliant Facebook groups. It's where we get a lot of the feedback from the pod, and there's always great content on those throughout the days and the weeks. So well worth signing up to those and looking at the content. And hopefully I've then given old mute button. See, look, I'm on fire. Now that I can say it, I won't stop saying it. Matt, a chance to give the X address.
Yeah, the X address. The X address is @champ_R. That's @champ_R. That's ARE. Shall I mention the YouTube channel as well?
Yes,
No,
actually,
no,
yeah, cool.
let Simmo.
Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty.
Yeah.
You know, I've just about managed to get my head around the other three, and then you go and spring that one on me.
No, just
That's cruel.
Go on, Matt. YouTube.
Yeah, so we are a podcast, so we are, but we just put them on there occasionally because as you said today, when Gull was taking us through Playmaker in Hotshot, and when I was showing the Scorcher annual, we do show digital copies on the screen. So if you are interested in that, check out the YouTube channel, and that's @Champ We Are United. So it's @Champ We Are United. So check us out on there.
And it really is worth having a look at some of them if you want to revisit them, because especially the Giles Corrin episode, the joy on his face was just wonderful. He really, really enjoyed talking to you, Matt. Yeah.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who doesn't and who wouldn't? That's all I'm going to say on that.
Are we going to
right then?
Are we just before we go? Are we going to have a 5-minute Euro conversation?
I was going to wrap it up unless you guys really want to do that.
No, we'll save it for next time.
Yeah,
it'll be over by then.
It'll all be over by then. It'll be better.
Well,
good idea.
We'll be much more informed by the next pod than we are at the moment. So,
do you want just sorry to interrupt?
Do you know what, listeners? I will be allowed to host this pod one day, but at the moment, over to you, Gull.
Would you like to know the latest score between Scotland and Hungary?
No.
I'm wondering about the listeners that are recording that and might hear this, because it could be a spoiler alert on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to know.
Personally, I'm going to go back and try and watch it from the start anyway. So,
well, there you go. So, no updates.
Well,
so, with that, I am going to get the guys. I'm going to try and get the guys to say their goodbyes and maybe give you a taster of what they might have coming up either in episode 81 or future pods. Now, you didn't have any content in the end, Simmo, because we didn't manage to squeeze in our bonus features that you had lined up for us, but you had some fantastic Vor moments there. And so I'll hand over to you to say your goodbyes and what might you have coming up for us in future pods.
Well, the original plan was I was actually going to do the next section on the Jimmy Grant story, but I had a little bit of an issue with the comic reader that I'm using. The settings, I hadn't quite mastered them, and it was coming through at a level that I was having trouble to read. But I have actually
pitch size 4, gents, ladies and gents. Just
so I have actually, while we've been on, I've actually managed to get my head around the settings now. So I have actually got it at a level where I can read it. Okay, so brilliant. I'm hopefully going to cover that in the next one.
Fantastic.
Please do, because I know that Jimmy Grant is loved by a number of the listeners. So please do.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, Simmo. So that's what Simmo's got coming up.
That's the plan.
Would you like to say goodbye? As Gull will pick me up on for you not saying it otherwise.
Yeah, that's it. We don't want you having any more black marks against your name, do we? Yes. Good night, listeners. Good night, everybody in the studio. I hope you all come back very soon.
Thank you. They're the voice of reason. So, keeping his fingers off of that mute button. Matt, what have you got coming up potentially? Well, of course, the second part of that annual for starters, I should think.
Yes. So we've got there's a great Nipper story which we'll do, and we'll do Bobby of the Blues as well is a
Bobby of the
really
Blues.
really good Bobby of the Blues. So that's to look forward to, and maybe there's a couple of little quizzes in there for fun as well. So maybe we'll touch on those and some other
I
stuff.
see Simmo's eyes lit up there when you said quiz.
And then the other stuff I've got coming up. Vernon Elliott, got that to do at some stage. I started doing the football who wouldn't
I take
stay
it you're going
dead.
to wing that one.
Brilliant.
Oh,
So I
please,
don't think
dear
you
old
heard
me.
that, Matt. Simmo said you're going to wing that on Vernon Elliott.
I just don't get it. What's Vernon Elliott? Oh, wing. Oh, sorry, winger. Oh God, so slow.
And for those listeners, you might not have heard it, but that was the penny dropping.
Oh,
Connection's
God.
a bit slow in.
Isn't
Connection's a
Penny
bit
out
slow down
abroad
that way.
in Crete?
So lots of stuff to come anyway. Really enjoyed today. Good hosting. Thanks a lot, Gull. That was really interesting. I think you definitely should do more stuff from Hotshot because it's a comic which I didn't read. So I'll be interested in that. And Simmo, I'm looking forward to your Jimmy Grant stuff as well. And Bygone Berrigan should be back for the next one, shouldn't he, as well? And great stuff. And good luck to Ridders on Thursday.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Gull.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Oh, bye then. Okay. You're going to ask me what I've got coming up?
I didn't think I needed to because I just thought you'd go with it.
Surely, good.
We thought of everybody. You wouldn't be the one that needed an introduction.
So, what have you got for us coming up? More theme tunes? And what about your comic content?
Not after I did the Queen thing earlier on. I think I'm going to retire from doing theme tunes.
Go out on a high. Go out on a high, Gull.
On a high, Gull.
Exactly.
Catherine.
And I've managed to keep it. Right, come on, Gull. Finish this off now.
Obviously, I'm really looking forward to Matt Part 2. So I've got nothing coming up because I'll host next time. So we can have the return of Bygone, and Matt can do his, Simmo can do his, and maybe if we've got time, Tangent, you can do something as well. So I'll host next time. But in the future, I'll do more from Hotshot. I'll do a little bit on Magic Man because that did end up going into Roy the Rovers.
Yep.
More on Playmaker and various other stuff. But I'll host next time if that's all right with you, gents.
It works for us, I think. There won't be any complaints.
You okay with that, Matt?
Yeah.
Wonderful excitement. Brilliant. Oh, and goodbye. And
that's where the real excitement was, as Gull says goodbye.
And best wishes to Luscious Locks Ridders and Mrs. Luscious Locks Ridders for Thursday. Please hurry back. If you're free on Friday, that'll be good.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, everybody, for that. And I think this has been a great contentful pod. I'm looking forward to future ones. Just as Gull, I think you can hear from everybody though, we've got a lot of content coming up, but hopefully soon I will be doing a Roy the Rovers. I keep on threatening the Cup Winners' Cup run from Melchester Rovers. So that's what I've got lined up. And I think that's enough from me. It's another one in the can, so to speak. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Brilliant stuff. An action-packed 90 minutes. Saw the Playmaker lay it on for Hotshot to smash it into the back of the net. And it's a goodbye from everybody, and it's a goodbye for me. See you in episode 81. Are we out?
I
struggled at the end there.